Hi, and welcome to A Better Place. As you know, this is our series on love and relationships. And today we have a very special guest in the studios. Stay tuned, we will be right back.
It's a wireless system. Cable WTN. Go digital WTN. With local TV channel 10. Call and make a date. 542-5898. Down by overseas building, Ruby and Star waiting. 48 channel, fasting with plenty more coming. News and sports from all over. Novella, Creole and Patois. Local thing is priority soon. Papi Menton, Taki Taki. WTN channel TV 10. We'll always be your friend. Check out the scene, we have the best rate. 542-5898. Hey man! WTN K1.
Hi, and welcome back to A Better Place. As I mentioned in the intro, today we have a very special guest in our studios as we discuss the topic of love and relationships. Good day, Mr. Meyers, and welcome to A Better Place.
Good day, and thanks for having me.
Mr. Meyers, as you know, this is our theme of this series is called Love and Relationships, and we want to discuss with you more about, how you managed your love relationship and being in politics. So I know that being a politician is a very hectic profession, and it demands a lot of your time. So we're gonna talk a little bit about, how you manage your time and how you manage being a politician, how you did both. But before we get into that, I want you to give a little brief description as to who Mr. Meyers is to the viewing audience.
Well, my name is Franklyn Meyers. I'm the last of seven children by Eulalie and Etienne Meyers. Went to school partly in St. Martin and in New York, returned and then went back to Miami, where I studied mortuary science, came back, working in 1991 until 1999, where I was elected to the Island Council. Served on the Island Council as Island Council member and commissioner for 8 years, retired from politics, and then got involved with the United People's Party in 2010, where we won 6 seats, and then I was appointed as Minister of Tourism, and then subsequently that government fell, and I've been out of politics ever since.
Okay.
That's in a nutshell Franklyn Meyers.
Okay, so you said you've been out of politics ever since, so you haven't been active at all with politics?
Well, I've been active. I've always been on the political scene, and my name is synonymous with political activities on the island. Mm-hmm. But as far as partaking in an election, I have not been in an election since 2006, which was the parliamentary election of the then Netherlands Antilles.
Okay. You said that you've been out of politics for a while, so what have you been doing in the meantime?
I've been doing my businesses and, just keeping quiet and starting to enjoy life. I got in politics at a relatively young age. I started when I was 26 years old. As a matter of fact, 2014 will make 20 years since I've been involved in one way or another in politics. So I needed to maybe take a step back and start to look from the outside in. So I'm doing that now. I am getting back in the fray of politics. It is my intention to run in the upcoming election, and definitely I've been able to assess the situation both personally and professionally.
Okay, so now let's get into that, because you talked about assessing it personally and professionally. How did you cope? I mean, I know that you've had relationships during your tenure, as a politician, and it takes a lot of your time. So how would you cope with that?
Yeah, it takes a lot of time, but you also need someone who is very supportive of you. I've got that in my partner, which is Brenda. She's been very supportive of me. I always tell folks, if I say that I want to find oil on the moon, Brenda will say, okay, when do we start? That's first and foremost. The next thing, of course, is actually living the event. once you're elected, and then the demands of the political life that's the reality. And in the beginning, sometimes that was difficult. And I think in any relationship, what the person or your partner wants is to be appreciated for those sacrifices. And once you're able to balance that and spend the quality time that is needed and show the appreciation that and don't take it for granted, I think that it becomes easier. At the point when I stepped down from politics in 2006 after running, and my term was up as commissioner and island council member in 2007, both Brenda and I were at the point where we had had enough. Politics, the political arena, wears more on families than the actual politician.
And why would you think that is? What is the cause for that whole, that heavy burden that it brings along to the family?
Well, when you're in the political game, it's like you're in a fight. The person in the fight feels the punches, not the person in the corner. And the same thing, your name is being used, truthfully or not. And it hurts the family more than the actual politician, because in my case, I know what the objectives are, I know what my goal is and what I have to do as a job and execute. So I focus on that, as opposed to your family. They know that the person that they love is being hurt or chastised.
Yeah, and I know that whole thing with family, and you said truthfully or not, because it is known in politics all over the world that a lot is said that is not true. And how do you, or have you coped with that? And also, how do you get your family to understand that?
Well, I don't think your family will understand, because they're not politicians. They will never understand. The persons that understand that are the ones who are politicians, and you either have a choice those choices are to worry with it or continue with what it is you have to do. And of course, they may forget about it from time to time, but there are certain things that may come up that offends them and hurts them. And then, of course, the question would be, is it really necessary to be in this political game? There's nothing that you see that is really relevant about it, and nothing that is your name is being tarnished. You're constantly in the spotlight, sometimes for negative reasons, and why do you want to do it? But the objective is, the big picture is being able to contribute to your country, and setting some of the things that you see can be fixed in this country, and doing your part. And that has been my objective from the time I've got into politics, and my record shows that I've executed those things, and I'm willing and ready to execute more.
Okay, you said that you have a very supportive partner. Has that always been like that from the beginning when you joined, when you started with politics?
Well, you see, the unique thing is, when I first met Brenda, I was already in politics. I had already started. I had at that time, I had 2 campaigns under my belt. And around 1998 parliamentary election is when I started to get involved with Brenda. So she met a politician, so to speak. So that transition was sort of easy. She knew that I was a politician, but I wasn't an elected politician. And that is where we had to, grow together.
Okay. Well, when we come back, we're going to elaborate a little bit more on that, but we've already come to our first break, and we'll take that break and we'll continue in next segment. Stay tuned, we will be right back.
GEBE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, Saba, and Statia, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering a brighter future.
Hi, and welcome back to A Better Place. So we were just discussing about, how when you started in politics, how it actually worked out with you and your partner. You said she actually met you already in the game, and we were going to continue to elaborate on that.
Well, yeah, she actually met me in the political game, so she wholeheartedly supported me in that adventure. The election after that is when I got elected, and that's where the reality of actually being with a politician comes in, because a politician who runs on a list and a politician who is in elected office are two different politicians. You have the responsibility that you're charged with, and also you come under the public scrutiny, which comes with the territory. And that support system is necessary. And that's what you need to be successful, because you can't juggle having an unhappy relationship as far as politics, if politics is tearing away at the fabric of your relationship, and then do your work. And I was blessed to have someone supportive of me. But as I said, when we got to 2007, both of us had our fill on the whole public scrutiny, and it was just a time we had 8 consecutive years. At that time was a long time, and we hadn't really done anything in a while as a couple, and traveled and see the world and enjoy each other. So that's also very important.
Okay, so so would you say that being a politician does weigh heavily on a relationship?
Oh, definitely. It weighs heavy on your family life, your relationship, especially the people that are close to you. My mother, for example, when she was alive, whenever someone will say something bad about me, she will call and this person said this, and I would be like, don't worry about it. I'm still here. I'm fine. I'm good. You're speaking to me, right? But it would upset me to know that my mother's upset. And the same thing, you go home and then Brenda says, you saw that article in the paper today? And I was like, yes, I'm still here, I'm fine, still 230 pounds, and, I'm still good. So again, it weighs heavier on you. I have a sister, Merle, that loses her mind whenever she reads something or someone says anything about me. But the political game is I say things about people as well. I try not to slander, because I believe that that's not progressive. But however, that's the nature of the game. And the politician knows this. The politician it's like the boxer in the ring. He knows that he has to get hit in that fight. A mother watching or a wife watching her husband getting beaten is something else. But it's the nature of the game.
Right. So, we hear a lot in St. Martin, in St. Martin is this way, in St. Martin is that way. But let's look at the worldwide picture. Do you think it's any different in the rest of the world?
The stakes may be higher in different parts of the world, but the political game is the political game. The essence of politics is democracy, and the principle is who gets the most votes. It's a competition. And that's when you're elected. And why do you want to get elected? To help your people and to help your country. So it's the same. They have the blogs in the U.S. and you have Republicans, you have Democrats, you have friends and you have foes. And your friends are going to say good things about you, and sometimes your friends are going to say bad things about you. And you're going to have your foes who are going to say bad things about you, and sometimes they will say good things about you. But it's the nature of the game.
Okay.
Don't expect everyone to always like you.
Well, we were talking more about your relationship with your significant other, and then you brought family into the picture, which is of course very important. I know you have kids.
Yes.
How did that affect them? Growing up?
I've always managed to keep my kids away from the political realm. I've never gotten them really involved in that political aspect. It probably affected them a little in school, but they've had pretty much a normal life. They weren't the kids who would come home and complain that, Daddy, someone said, oh, because you're a politician, we feel this or that. They've had a couple isolated incidents of such, but definitely not. Because again, I credit that to being, I'm a normal everyday guy, so I don't take home any kind of aristocrat attitude or a chip on my shoulder because I'm elected or hold a political position. I'm a normal everyday guy. So again, I'm pretty sure they as well don't like to hear anyone talk anything about their father, but definitely I have not seen any indications or heard any complaints where it regards them because I've managed to keep them away from that whole political circle. As a matter of fact, there are people in St. Martin who don't even know that I have kids. You know, when I introduce my son, for those who know, they know that when they were very small, and they said, "What? He's 22 already?" And some people said, "Well, I didn't even know you had kids." You know, so I'm grateful for that.
Okay, you said that you know they might have experienced one or two isolated events, but now that they're older, you know, have you had discussions with them in terms of how they feel about you being the politician? Have you ever did that?
I can't say that I have. I had a discussion with my son once. I have 3 kids, 2 girls and 1 boy. I had a discussion with my son once, and he told me that eventually he would like to get into politics. And my advice to him was, I've always been supportive of my kids no matter what they want to do. But I told him the pros and the cons, and I said, you know, there's a lot of, it wears on you, you know, you have to really be dedicated to this. Unfortunately, for me, now the politics is in my blood. I'm a politician through and through now. And there's a lot of things that you have to swallow and take and realize, and basically change your whole mindset and realize that, hey, you know, I have an objective, I have a job to do, and I can't be I can't be distracted with minor things. And my daughters, no, not really. My daughter Zara, sometimes she will hear something, and then, you know, of course she will get upset. She reacts like I do. Initially gets upset and says, "Well, I don't like this," and they're talking foolishness. But again, it's the game.
Right. Well, we've come to a break, and when we come back, we'll wrap up this program, and we're talking more about love and relationships. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
It all came from one man's love for chicken and his secret recipe. Thanks to Colonel Sanders, today we can enjoy a new sandwich. The Boss from KFC, the best original Sanders sandwich ever. Now his original recipe of 11 herbs and spices is in the chicken, in the sauce, and sprinkled right on the bun. It's the best of KFC in every bite. That's why the Boss is the boss. So good.
When I say Xerox, I know what you're thinking. Transit fares, as in the 37 billion transit fares we help collect each year. No. Oh, right. You're thinking of the 1.6 million daily customer care interactions Xerox handles, or the 900 million health insurance claims we process. So it's no surprise to you that companies depend on today's Xerox for services that simplify how work gets done, which is pretty much what we've always stood for. With Xerox, you're ready for real business.
Hi, and welcome back to A Better Place. So, Mr. Myers, you know, we've had two segments already where we talked a lot about how you manage to, you know, juggle being a politician in your relationships, you know, with your significant other as well as with your family and so on. So you've said that you're going to go back into the political arena. Now, certain things have changed or haven't changed in terms of your relationship with your significant other. You're now married. Do you think it will be the same going into getting back into politics again now that your status has changed?
Oh, no, definitely. I think certain things will change. I'm much more mature, and in the sense, we use the word mature in a lot of different aspects. But I mean, when I mean by mature, I think that I am much more susceptible to operating within the political realm now than when I was younger. I was first elected at 31 years old. There was a lot of things that, even though you're in politics, there is a lot, and elected office, there's a lot of things that a 31-year-old still want to do, and still hasn't gotten out of his system. When I left, I wanted to, again, travel and, and you just sometimes be you. But at 46 now, I'm 46, I'm a little more tranquilo, and I see life in a different aspect. And I think that most of the things that I wanted to do as far as getting out of my system I've done. And the things that I want to do now are different. After one time is the next. Like when you were younger, you wanted to go to the club. And there's certain things. And when I was like 31, and I would see like my friends who were 31, and you consider that relatively young, still being able to enjoy themselves, and you're not, because sometimes you're in an island council meeting, you have to prepare for an island council meeting. Sometimes that would weigh on you, But as time went along, I learned to live with it, and adjusted, and I always had my priorities straight. I never said, well, I'm going to Lyme and hang out and not do my job. So that was that part was easy. The hard part was actually accepting it inside, And now it's I'm older in the sense that I'm not as spontaneous as I once was, and it's a different person,
This is a whole different topic, but would you think, or you have more men in the field of politics than women? And I believe because, of course, women are the domesticated ones who are usually the ones who stay with the family. Do you think that women have it more difficult being in the field of politics?
I don't think that it all depends on what it is the woman brings to the table. You can't look at a woman a politician and expect her to be a man. And I think what the comfort level that the electorate have with a man politician is that in the event that there is some sort of a crisis, it's our belief that a man will handle that crisis more forcefully and better. But I've seen women politicians who are as equally forceful and strong in those positions. And getting into politics, yes, it's much more different for a woman to set her platform and move forward, because that whole persona, that whole image of being forceful from go, a woman don't have that. So she has to rely on her speech ability, she has to rely on how educated she is, her charisma, and being able to touch and feel everyone. A man don't necessarily have to do that. His thing is he starts with a percentage of being, a man. It's the old, like they say, the old boys club. But that too is changing. They're very, especially in the St. Martin community. And a lot of the things that you see in the St. Martin community, St. Martin community has adapted and grown over the years. If you look at the trend very quickly, and the transgender, that between man and woman, we have a woman prime minister, we have a woman president of parliament, we've had women hold key positions and held them very well and managed to hold their own. In our short term, we've had 3 women ministers of education. So we have the people in the community, and we are not afraid to go to them and have them carry out those functions.
Okay. Well, I would like you to give your last words of advice to young persons who might be aspiring to get into the field of politics, in terms of how they would or they should take their relationships, family relationships, significant other, children, into consideration when they get into politics.
Well, definitely, if you're going to go into politics, you have to consider all of the above: your family, your partner, and your kids. And definitely, once you're in, the reality of being in politics and the reality of running are 2 different horses. One really has nothing to do with the other, election and governing. So what I find amazing is when you campaign, you criticize the things that is in government, and then when you're in government, you defend the things that you criticize while you are campaigning. That's the nature of the business. But you have to take into consideration all of those factors, because if you don't have the support, and when I mean not necessarily the electorate support from your family, but that moral support from your family, definitely it will make that job a whole lot more difficult for you. So that's my advice to young folks. I believe that I admire anyone who wants to put their names into the political arena and contribute to their country. And but again, like anything you do, with great tasks come great responsibilities.
Okay. Well, Mr. Myers, I want to thank you for having been a part of A Better Place. You know, interviewing you was a great pleasure for me. But we're going to have you back, because we're going to have another segment with you where we talk more about the personal side of Mr. Myers, Frankie. In love and relationships. So thanks once again.
Thanks for having me, Angelique.
And to you, the viewing audience, I would like to thank you for having been a part of A Better Place. Stay tuned for our next program where we discuss more on love and relationship with Mr. Frankie Myers. I am your host, Angelique Ramu.